school mentor and a felicitator. And I am working with the environmental projects with my school, and I collaborate with sustainability themes and bring about awareness with the students as well as with the community. So it's always a pleasure being a part of a global forum, because it keeps on reminding me with my views and my thought I keep on revising upon, because learning should never stop. So I feel teachers and students are the same. Our learning should never stop, and we should keep on talking and propagating about it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Hina. Thank you very much. Now I think we can go ahead. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
So over to you, Dr. Aliman. How do you start?
Yes, Mr. Nara, just I request you, if somebody comes, you please.
Sure, I'll do that.
Get him in.
Should we go ahead, or what's the agenda or any?
Yes, we'll get Dr. Haliman to introduce.
Yeah, just a minute, just a minute.
Yeah.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to EduFam International Academy and the Sustainability Eco-Visionaries Global Group. So it is good evening, somewhere good morning, and somewhere it's good afternoon. But anyway, greetings to our global family. It's my pleasure that I welcome each one of you, those who are present here for the Sustainability Summit 38. It's proudly hosted by Eco-Visionaries Global Group in association with EduFam International Academy, UAE. And I am Dr. Halima Sadia. I invite you to get inspired by this session, exhale purpose, and get ready for a summit that nourishes the soul and ignites responsibility for our planet. So EduFam Training Services stands as a torchbearer in education, sustainability, and leadership transformation, from empowering 50,000 learners globally to leading thought-provoking conferences. EduFam believes in nurturing a generation that doesn't just learn, but leads. And now coming to the Eco-Visionaries Global Group. It was born with a purpose: to unite educators, activists, students, and professionals under one powerful vision: to live simply, think deeply, and consume responsibly. From our Green Lifestyle Challenge to the Maldives Iron Lady Award and the conference, we have always believed that small acts, when multiplied by millions, can transform the world. So it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening, a powerhouse of knowledge, experience, and global impact, Mr. Janathan Jana. Please give a big round of applause to our keynote speaker. He is also a founding member. Okay, it's my honor to introduce Mr. Jana. He is an engineer, MBA, chartered IT professional, and a passionate Tamil writer. So nice to see the versatile personality. Mr. Jana is the Director of Global Transformation, Change Management, and AI at Ericsson for Southeast Asia, Oceania, and India. He is also the founding member of IGEN, the Green Engineers and seasoned public speaker who truly walks the talk when it comes to sustainability. His keynote today, Save Water, Save Life, a powerful reminder of Earth's most precious resource. Let's give a virtual round of applause as we welcome Mr. Janathan, who is famously known as Mr. Jana. A big round of applause to Mr. Jana, please. And now over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Halima. Really appreciate your introduction and support. And basically, I just want to say thank you because the audience are very passionate about concerning the energy and environment, which is a mandatory need for everything. Because we are talking about technology, we are talking about education, we are talking about many things. But everything we can create and we can go. But basically, when you talk about the natural resources, those are the key things that we need to have, and also we need to carry forward to the next generation. So I am actually, even though I have a profession in a different field of engineering, but my passion is always being sustainability and energy and environment, which is my part of my hobby, I would say. So today I just want to talk about water and save water, water life. So that's one of the precious resource that we have in the planet. So let me share my screen and we'll take it from there. Can you all see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
it's visible.
Perfect. Thank you. Let me put the screen mode. Okay, I'll put this one. Perfect. Once again, thank you for participating in the forum today. I'm very, really proud and happy to be part of for this forum. Also, thanks for inviting me as a keynote speaker for today's forum. So let me start. One second. Let me start with the small agenda. So because let's say, okay, when we talk about the water, so if you take ecosystem and environment, right? So we can see water, air, electricity, heat, light. There are many content. Be part of the world is driving after survival for each and every livable things and plants and growing and everything, right? So today I wanted to talk about water. Save water, save life. Right? So we can sit and talk about the water for hours and hours, but I can't spend long time. Therefore, I just put about in a few small agenda so that we can cover a little bit end-to-end on a high level. So this is my short agenda today, and then I'll walk through with other slides as we travel. Right. So what's importance of the water? So we know that, right? Everybody knew. So what is water? So essential for life, need water to survive. So basically, no one can live. So nothing will be possible without a water. So we always need a water, a human need a water, and growing things need a water. All living things need water, right? For many other purpose, several purpose. So human health and hygienics is very important for human living, right? So each and every action in our day-to-day life, we require a huge amount of water. No matter what you need a water. Without water, we can't go to the next step. Agriculture and food production. That is where the huge amount of water has been spent and is used to produce the food and do a large scale of agriculture. When the population grows, when the demand increase, we need to produce so much of food, and we also advance our agriculture needs. And economic development. So industries, each and every industry, no matter what industry you have, it could be electronic industry or car manufacturing or food manufacturing or a milk dairy farm. So every industry need a water. And also, most importantly, environmental balance, sustainability, ecosystem, right? So if you see our environment, basically full of different balances. So temperature, heat balance, light balance, air balance, and water balance. All these balances are controlled by water. So because it's a different country has a humidity and some other country doesn't have, you can see a difference when you go to a country with the humidity and there's no humidity in the other part of the world. So water balance, the environmental balance, ecosystem balance also drive a water balance. And energy generation, right? Hydropower. So many countries actually, they have plenty of water, enough water they used to produce electricity using a hydropower. And we are talking about the green hydrogen, right? One of the most hot topic these days. So hydrogen is a other powerful fuel which will be used in going forward. So water, H2O, is the raw material to produce green hydrogen and many other needs. So these are the very high level of the water needs. Then when we come to the water cycle, so if we see a water cycle, how water is circulated, and produced and reproduced in the ecosystem. So this is usually known by many of us that, so we have a water deposit, underground water, we have a river water, and we have a water which always evaporate from farms, trees, and all the surface of the place. So then it's go to the cloud and come back as a drain. And also it's go to the underwater deposits, water discharged and charged underwater deposit. So that is where the water circulation is coming in our ecosystem. When the ecosystem get imbalanced or disturbed by many other factors, we also will be running out of water. We'll have a scarcity of water. Okay. This is actually an unknown truth for many of us, right? So if we take the total water availability globally, you can see almost 97% of the water is the salt water, sea water. So we won't be able to use other than fishing and commuting from one place to other place. So majority of the water is the sea water, right? We got the balanced 2.5 water, only the fresh water. Even if you go take the 2.5% of the water, where you can see most of things are like a core ice. So we won't be able to access those areas. Then 30% is the groundwater, and the balance are the very surface water. This, when I say groundwater, it's unreachable because it is very deep into the ground level. So in the ground level, we can see the different layers of water, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. So we can only access up to layer 1 and layer 2. So then if you take other percentage, when I break it further, you can see even very little amount of water that is accessible and can be used by humans, other nature. So basically 0.0003% of the water can be used and accessible globally for all other day-to-day needs and every other needs. So this is the real fact of the water availability. You can see how much water we have globally going forward when the demand increases. So it's an alarming situation. We really need to manage and protect our resource, going forward for next generation. Right. You can see how the water requirements, some of the example I put it here. Basically, if you go for a shower, you usually spend 20 to 30 liters of water, right? Sometimes it's more, depending on the person who have a shower. Then washing a clothes and cooking a 30 liter. For the cooking, 30 to 40 liter. For flushing a toilet, 10 to 15 liter. Watering a lawn, it would be a 40 liter. I'll give you some more example. If you see a loaf of bread, I'm making as 1,200 liter. You can ask do you need 1,200 liter of water to produce a loaf? So we can't just get the loaf from the sky. So when you produce a loaf, you need to grow a wheat from the field. You need to pump the water. It's growing, and then after that you harvest and bring to the factory and make a wheat flour and come to the bakery and make him a bread. So in the entire process, for one loaf, it takes 1,200 liter. Again, another example, a car production. Can you see 400,000 of liter is used to manufacture a car? I'm talking about the end-to-end process where you get the raw material until the car comes to your hand. So this amount of water will be used forever. So we need to see how this water can be used efficiently going forward. Okay, I'm making some of the examples of how the water uses in industries and other regions. You see, as I mentioned before, basically agriculture is the major area. It consumes huge amount of water. Then industries and domestic. So domestic, even though there's a huge amount of population, but domestic consumption is not big. So it has a very limited amount of water, maybe 10 to 12% of water is consumed by domestic. Then industries and agriculture. Because when I talk about agriculture, animal farming, and food production, etc., everything. Then if you can further break into the different industries, this you can see on the right hand side: agriculture, food, mining, and manufacturing, electricity, and water supply other way. But again, if you see the fresh water withdrawal from regions, can you see very dark, where India, China, America, and other areas, they are consuming huge amount of water because they have a high population, right? And also in some of the areas, I would say where water is mismanaged as well. So huge amount of water going in this direction. So if you see the graph below, where you can see where the low amount of water is getting consumed and the high amount of water is getting consumed. So this is the water distribution and withdrawal based on the region globally available. Okay, sorry, I did this one, but I don't know this. Sorry for this screen is not displaying properly in the computer. A key factor contributing for the water stress, right? So what I have done, I have split into two categories. One is a natural stress, which coming from environmental, another one is a human pressures. So water can be damaged, destroyed, polluted, and and make unavailable due to two key factors. One can be environmental natural effects, and second is a human artificial facts. So if I go to the first one, environmental. So changes in the climate and raising a surface temperature, right? The surface temperature is always raising up. Today also we talk about the high temperature in India. That's one of the good example. When the surface temperature goes up and up, the water in the surface is also getting evaporated. The water balance is getting fully damaged, and natural water balance is getting worse every day for many of the region in globally because our surface temperature is going up. So usually 100 years back or even 200 years back, our average temperature of the world was 17 to 20 degree. But today it's reaching 33 degree. I mean, I'm talking about the average temperature of the globe. So it has jumped up heavily. The carbon particle per minute is increasing every day. So that means which is pushed to increase the surface temperature as well. And intense floating, the heavy floating. Most of the country, they don't have a proper storage system. And they have blocked these floats and the water flows. Then you are getting a heavy floating, so the water is not getting fully charged for the underground water. You don't get the improper water balancing, right? And again, natural pollution affecting a water quality. There are pollution by man-made, there are pollution by naturally, it's also affecting a water quality. And melting ice caps and glaciers. So this is one of the area because of the temperature going up, the whole ice core, freshwater ice cores are getting melt and mixed with the salt water, the ocean. So we won't be able to use that water forever because the amount is getting reduced every day. And distributed rainfall cycle, reducing groundwater recharge. Basically, if you can see many years back and today, the rainfall has been completely disturbed. It doesn't get the proper timing, doesn't flow in a smooth way or regular way. Sometimes it's flows heavily, sometimes there's no rain. We have waited for rain for many years. It changes every part of the world. And water contamination goes by a natural disaster such as tsunami or many other cyclone, because of many other areas naturally water also getting polluted. So these are the few key facts that can affect the water naturally. When it comes to human, that is, we don't want to even say we know that how we are making the water bad every day. So raising a water demand due to the population growth. You can see the population 20 years back, but 2 billion now it's become more than 8 billion and going exponentially, right? So when the population grows, the demand grows. The demand, when I talk about demand, food demand is going up. So you need to manufacture a food to cater all the huge population. So you need a huge amount of water for agriculture and food production. So that's heavily increasing. And rapid urbanization also increasing the pressure. Now people are going towards cities, right? Urbanization is also developing. That's a complex water system is needed where you have very limited water supplies, but the number of people in the small circle is getting increasing. So where you get a water imbalance and no proper water supply. Inefficient water usage and lack of conservation practices. Severe water pollution affecting a fresh water quality, right? The water pollution, man-made water pollution is every day in everywhere. You can see in many other developing countries, their nice natural rivers has been polluted. Some of the rivers is blocked and they build the building as well. So the width of the rivers are getting changed. And water reservation, water wetlands, everything is getting affected in many other. Good example, in most of the South Asian countries, this has this big problem. And then unstructured and outdated water delivery infrastructure. We see the structured water supply. Now the technology has grown up. We can easily improve the water supply system. Then we can use the water efficiently. So, but that is not happening here. So still, they are doing the very traditional one, water leak pipes and unproper system, which is wasting huge amount of water. So roughly around 30 to 40% of the water is wasted average globally every day. The water leakage by pipe, small water supply pipelines or the mass water supply water flow system, it has a heavy leakage. It is not never being repaired. The water is getting leakage every day. Inadequate water storage and reservoir planning. That's also key area because no one is maintaining the water reservoirs these days. Whenever the water available there, they just suck the water and they distribute the system. Even I have visited India last year. In South India, I can see no one can use the water coming in the tap, but they have to buy a water every day. It's being supplied by the Bowser and the suppliers. So that is it's kind of an alarming situation, right? What will happen tomorrow? We don't know. So inadequate water storage in the reservoir planning and salt water insertion from the ocean contamination. So most of the areas you can see a lot of fresh water available near to the ocean, but that's not being properly maintained. Then therefore the salt water getting mixed with the underground water deposits. So what are the challenges that we have globally? So almost roughly 50% of the people are struggling because of the water imbalance, right? So 2.2 billion people has a lack of drinking water. 1 in 11 has this problem worldwide. And sanitation requirement is very, very important for human. That every day you need to work and keep your body and hand everything clean. So water is the only source that you can make use of it. And 2 billion high water stress for 10 liter per week. Some of the places people have to walk very long way, get some of the water. At least few liters of water they need to use for a week. And roughly 300 children under age 5 die every year because of diarrheal diseases. But this is purely coming by a water problem. So water infection, it's not a clean water, a polluted water. So severe infection is spreading diseases due to polluted water. If you see a map I have put in below where you can see annual average water capacity. So if you see from red to green, where you can see availability of the water globally. So in the red colored area, there's a water scarcity is there. And other area, the water, even those waters are there, but those are not, we won't be able to use it properly. Right. This is just a two images, just want to highlight where we can see the waterless countries. And this is one of the recent a paper screenshot. I just cut it from a paper, just talking about Indian situation. You can see in 2030, my demands going to a red color and supplies a blue color. So how we are going to solve this problem? So it will impact huge amount of people in India. India is one example, but there are other countries like Ethiopia, Somalia, and Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh. They also have a similar problem. So they need to stand up and create an action immediately. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge problem. So if you see on the left-hand side, right? So these are the countries as a waterless countries. Yeah, heavily starving for the water. So but this is a few example, but definitely it will spread to other countries as well. Otherwise, until we take a proper action. I just want to see some of the images. I don't know, it's not getting image. So you can see on the right-hand side, there's a naturally polluted water, and people are still using that water. We don't know how clean it is, but you have no other option. And again, if you go some of the pictures from the African continent, so they have to find the water in a different moods. So these water are very unclean, not at all even for sanitary service. Then how can we drink the water, right? So these are the alarming situations already started. As I said, 50% of the population is starving for water. Right. When you come to the last two slides, I just want to say two things clearly. One, how we can improve the water resource, right? First, we need to improve the water resource, and secondly, we need to protect our water. So there's some of the high-level ideas and points I have put together just to see how we can improve the water resources, float and rainwater restoration. So basically, if you see flood water and rainwater come into the country, but we don't have a proper system to maintain and keep that water. The water is just running or polluted, getting mixed with the ocean. So whether we won't be able to get a proper water structurality because of this. And artificially groundwater discharge is very important. Now, even if you get the water from the drain, we won't be able to save the water. We won't be able to recharge the water for underground water. If you don't get a recharge for underground water, we won't be able to get the groundwater back. So you need to drill the ground to get the fresh water. And serving water in agriculture. So as I said, the demand is growing, the population is growing, the agricultural demand is exponentially growing, it's leapfrogging. So then saving a water very important when we do the agriculture. We can use new technologies, efficient technologies to use the minimum water for agriculture. Destination plants. This is one of the area a lot of other countries are looking at it, but it is not easy. It is not cheap. It's very expensive process, because if you go and see the destination plant, how the processes work with the membranes, it's very, very hard to manage this plant. To produce a 1 liter of water, you need a huge amount of money. So that's the way the plant operates. Maybe in future, going forward, using a different technology, it might be cheaper, because which is solar plant, solar panels. So I think 10 years back, you produce a 1 kilowatt hour, you need $3 to $4. Now it's become 50 cents, because of the technology has improved, and they have a different way of manufacturing using a different raw material. So it has improved. The cost has come down. Maybe that may be until otherwise, if you don't find a new technology, it's going to be a very expensive process. At the moment in UAE and the Middle East country, they are using the distillation plant. And renovation of the water bodies and engage the research. We need to invest more money on the water researchers, how we can maintain, improve the water quality and improve the water availability. And water resource sharing between regions. Some you can see other countries nearby. Some of the countries, they have a lot of water has been used and wasted and exhaust, pushed in the sea, but other countries starving. So they can work together and do the good water balance between the regions. An efficient method of water recycling. So water recycling also one of the key area we need to touch upon, because if you see lawn, plantation, washing a car or toilet, these areas we can of course use a recycled water. But in Australia, I would say every house now got a two pipeline. One is a recycled water pipeline, other one is a good water pipeline. So in the good water, you will always for drinkable, other one you can use for other purposes. And adopted innovative technology, as I mentioned before, a new technology can always help to have a fresh water. And maintain the reservoirs and water channels and deforestation. That's very important. When you cut and clean this whole forest and green layer, the water balance will be getting impacted. So you need to deforest. So these are the key actions that we can do to improve the water resources availability. And then how we can improve the water usage. I think this is the main area we need to spread among our community, and each and everybody need to take an action, right? Because everybody be involved in domestic life, and we also participate in industrial, and we also participate in agriculture and everything. So we need to create an awareness for the different societies and communities and from the school level. So each and every person need to understand what is the importance of water, how much water we have for next generation. Then people will realize they start protecting our water. And domestic usage, that is why I need to really touch upon. So domestic usage is very important. When we actually have a bath, sometimes people go for 20 minutes bath, 30 minutes bath, but rather than having a 30 minutes, 20 minutes bath, you have a bath every day for 4 minutes. So recommended bath for 4 minutes, good enough. And running water. Sometimes people switch on the tap and they do their things and the water will be running. They don't care. And washing a clothes, you can always collect the clothes together and wash it, right? I will give a good example because it will help you. One of the Toyota company in Japan, the employee was awarded employee of the year. The girl was a worker in the canteen. So what she has done, so when she was observing for these people coming who to have a tea, so 50% of the people, they order a tea, but they drink half or 30% or 40% only. They don't, other whole balanced tea, they just put it into the bin. So what she has done, she was observing this pattern, and after some time, she started to serve the tea as needed. Right? For example, a person X comes and she knows that he only needs a 50% of the tea. She give a half cup. So she has done this one because they save a lot of money because of this action. So she was the employee of the year in Toyota. So this is one of the awareness that we need to create among our kids and the new generation. And water aerator at the tap tops. Even my house, I have aerator. So, usually when you open the tap, I'll get 20 liter per minute or 10 liter per minute. When you use the aerator, you get the same feeling, same water, but it will reduce 4 liter per hour, 4 liter per minute, something like that. We can reduce using water aerator and avoid water leakage pipes. Water efficient appliances, star rated appliance like 9-star, 10-star, 8-star washing machine, dishwashers, and other equipment, we can always buy a star rated. It can work with the minimum level of water. Enhancing irrigation efficiency like sprinkler system, drip irrigation system directly to the root, we can pump the water rather than pumping a million liter of water. We can do it the minimum amount of water. An incentive scheme for efficient usage, right? So this is also some of the government they have introduced in Europe. So you get some incentive, some money when you show you are using your water very efficiently. And sustainable animal farming and feeding. This is one of the key area we need to touch upon. So sustainable is a very, very important thing. Dairy farm, other animal farm, when we grow the grass for the feeding, we need to try to use, or we need to find different feeding mechanism, right? Other than feeding grass and green item, we can find a different feeding mechanism so that we can save water a lot. Sorry. So these are some of the key facts how we can improve the water usage. So water is everything. Water is the medicine. So there's no water, there's no life, right? So this is what I basically want to cover on a high level because the time is roughly 20 minutes. Dr. Halim asked me to talk. So anything else in a deeper level, we can do a deep analysis of how we can improve. But basically, if we think about it, how we can save a future generation is all depending on our hand. You can have millions of dollars, but if there's no 1 liter of water, there's no use because water is need for life, not the money. So everybody need to focus. We'll talk about our kids. We spread this news, how water is the precious resources for us today and tomorrow forever. So we will see how we can balance the water system and have a clean water. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan. It was really a very well informed, well researched, and well presented paper. Thank you. God bless you. And I know that there are many participants, those who are willing to ask the questions. We'll take up the questions just after the presentations. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, very briefly, as you all know that today's session is going to be a little different, and we are going to have the dialogue format for the presentations by our eco-visionaries, green ambassadors. But I'm going to take the advantage of presenting only 5 minutes on the topic, one step towards financial sustainability. And it is not any research paper. It is just the thoughts and mindset of the people. So I'm going to give you some thoughts and you all have to tell me whether these thoughts are facts or myths. And in the light of those facts and myth check, we are going to understand that how financial sustainability is important and why we should go for the financial sustainability. So let's start. The first statement is financial sustainability means being profitable all the time. Is it a myth or a fact? If you want, you can unmute and tell, or if you want, you can write in the chat box. It's up to you how you are comfortable. Please let me know. Financial sustainability means being profitable all the time. I can't see. It is a myth. Miss Dr. Prema is saying it's a myth. And when doctor is saying something, you know, we don't have the courage of saying, denying that, no, this is not right. Of course, it is a myth. Financial sustainability doesn't mean that all the time we are going to have profit. It's about the long-term financial health, not short-term profit. So even sometimes we will find that in some cases we are losing, we are not having the profit, but in the long term, that is going to help us in the other ways. Financial sustainability is just about money. Is it a fact or a myth? Oh, Deepti. Deepti is the winner of this round. Thank you, Deepti. This is a myth because it also includes strategic vision, resource efficiency, risk management, and adaptability. It's not just accounting. Okay, so now let's move to the next one. Relying on a single strong donor or client is enough. If we have very strong donor or if we have very strong client, so that is enough. Who is the first one for this? It's very difficult to find out. I think
Dr. Attia. I think.
Dr. Attia. Okay, Dr. Attia, congratulations. You are the winner of this round because relying on one is myth. Overdependence is really risky in the terms of finances. Diversified income streams protect against uncertainty and changes in support. So we should always go for the diverse clients, diverse supporters, diverse source of income. Those who are in the job, they should not depend only on one source of income. They should always go for the passive source of incomes as well if we want financial sustainability. Financial sustainability means having no debt. Yes. Yes, Masuda is saying this is fact. Okay, what about others? Come on. Okay, Athiya is again saying myth. So I think this is a quite tricky question. I will leave on Mr. Nara. Mr. Nara, where is your vote?
I would say financial sustainability, having no debt means at least you don't need to pay or you don't owe money to others. Whatever money you make is for your own utilization.
In that way, so I think 90% countries are not sustainable in finance,
Yes.
isn't it?
Very
Okay.
true.
Yeah,
Very true.
because they all have the debt. So responsible debt used strategically can support growth and stability. The key is managing it well. So it depends that how we manage the debt. So taking loan sometimes is not like that we are not sustainable financially, but it depends at how we are going to manage this. If the organization is growing, it's financially sustainable. Is it a myth or fact? Again, Dipti is the first in this, and Dipti is saying it's a myth. Yes, sometimes you will find, the people, they are having so many followers, the organizations have grown in many dimensions, but their finance is always in trouble. So we cannot tell those individuals or the companies that they are financially sustainable. So for that, growth without control can lead to financial strain. Sustainability includes managing growth with careful planning. Sometimes people, they will take so many projects and then finally they are not able to complete any project. Naturally, that will lead to uncertainty. You can't focus on social and environmental goals and still be financially sustainable. I think this is very obvious. Dr. Prema is saying this is a fact. You can't focus on social or environmental goals and still be financially sustainable. Okay, let's see what's the right answer. Many social enterprises and eco-friendly businesses are financially thriving. Purpose and profit can coexist. Yeah, actually, apparently it looks that when we go for the sustainability, we find the things are very expensive. The things are very costly. Apparently it looks like, but when we go for the longer benefits, then we find that it is worth. Only large organizations can be financially sustainable. Is it a myth or? Yeah, Dr. Prema in this round, Mr. Jana and Dr. Prema, both are the first ones. Any organization, regardless of size, can achieve sustainability by managing resources wisely and planning strategically. Congratulations. Cutting cost is the best way to stay financially sustainable. This is my formula. I don't know whether this is fact or myth. Cutting cost. Always I will talk about cutting cost. But sometimes that is bringing so much harm to the organization. It is fact. Khushbu is saying fact. Atiya is saying fact. Okay, so let's see. Smart investments in quality, innovation, and people are equally important. Excessive cost cutting can harm long-term goals. Yeah, that's where sometimes I suffer, because I always believe in the cost cutting. Emergency funds or reserve funds are unnecessary if revenue is consistent. Is it a fact or myth? Masuda is saying it's a myth. Yes, Masuda, that is right, because you never know that when crisis comes, pandemics, like COVID was there, inflation, etc. So we should always have the reserve funds. Financial sustainability is the finance team's responsibility only. Why should I put my head? Because I am the operation head, or I am the planning head. I am not the finance head. Is this correct? Is it a fact? No, this is again a myth, because this is the responsibility of the whole team. It's a shared responsibility. Leadership, dependents, staff, everybody plays a role in sustainable financial health. So thank you very much, my dear friends. I hope that with this myth and fact check, you must have learned a few things for the financial sustainability. Please write down 3 things that you have learned. Meanwhile, I'm going to make some announcement before we move to the dialogue presentation. So please write down 3 things that you have learned with this myth and fact checking in the chat box. 3 things that you have learned and you are going to implement in your own life or in your own company for the sustainable finances. Now coming to the announcements, my dear friends, we are happy to announce that we are going to start Eco Boot Camp from 1st June to 3rd June. 3 days Eco Boot Camp. Tomorrow's timing is 11 a.m. to 12 noon. And those 2 days, 2nd and 3rd, it will be in the evening. And this is complimentary and free for the green ambassadors, those who are doing the green lifestyle courses with EduFam. And while for others, this is the paid one. If you are interested, please contact on the given phone number so that we can give you the details. Secondly, on 5th June, we all know it is a very, very important day. And we as a global group, Eco Visionaries Global Group, we cannot ignore this day. So what we are going to do, we are going to spark the change, creative challenge to cool the earth. So for the global warming, we are asking the students, the individuals, the professionals to bring some solutions, so that if some solutions are really worth noticing, we can take it forward. So this is going to be on June 5th. If you are interested in this, you always can contact on the phone number or WhatsApp number given, so that we can send you the details. And our third is that our next batch for the green lifestyle is going to start on 1st July. If you or your friends or your relatives or anyone who is very much concerned about the environment, they are interested in this green lifestyle challenge, if they want to be a trainer or practitioner, there are 2 levels of this training, so they can always contact us. So these are 3 major announcements. Meanwhile, let me just check your 3 learnings, and then with this, I'm going to say bye-bye and my time will be over. Okay, so thank you very much. I can see Mr. Nara, I can see Hina, I can see Khushbu has written only 1. Nara, Atiya, Hina, congratulations. Thank you very much. Give a big round of applause to these fast learners and the responsible learners. Thank you very much. Mr. Jana has written. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. And now over to you, Mr. Nara. Rest of the proceedings, Mr. Nara is going to handle. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Halima. That was a very interesting financial awareness question and answer session. I think even I learned a lot of things from there. So that's very good. You must, I have to copy some of your slides. So again, warm welcome to every one of you present. Thank you so much for being with us today. We keep thinking about what is the best way and what is the most interesting way that we can present, we can bring people together. And in this scenario, we have thought about a dialogue segment. And I want to thank Mr. Jana